Houthis sacked their government amid increasing protests in the areas under their control. Nine cancer patient children are in critical condition in Sana'a due to taking contaminated drug. Visually impaired graduates in Lahj province struggle to make a living despite disability. Welcome to Yemen Today TV. This is the English news with me, Roshan Fuad. The Houthi group's repressive measures and the accusations coincided with widespread dissatisfaction of the group's leader's decision to dismiss the government, which no one recognized, within the framework of what he called radical changes, on the grounds that this government did not possess any authority. The Fong report gives more details.
Well-informed sources revealed that the Houthi group intended to try hundreds of young men detained for their participation in celebrations commemorating the September 26 revolution. Meanwhile, the decision of the group's leader Abdelmalik al-Houthi to dismiss his unrecognized government was met with mocking from a broad sector of Yemen, who confirmed that it was essentially devoid of powers. Three well-informed sources in Sana'a and Eb said that the Houthi intelligence services submitted a report to the group's leader and members of its ruling council, accusing the legitimate government and the coalition supporting it of being behind the massive demonstrations that took place in the cities of Sana'a and Ib, in which thousands participated to celebrate the anniversary. The annual September 26 revolution and the overthrow of the Imami regime claimed that it was not spontaneous demonstrations. According to the sources, the intelligence proposed referring those described as the perpetrators of those demonstrations that swept the streets of the two cities in an unprecedented manner to trials, while requiring the rest of the detainees, whose number more than 1,000, to issue pledges not to participate in any future demonstrations. According to the sources, the group examined the detainees' phones that were confiscated, obliging their owners to cancel the passwords so that the intelligence services could examine them and sort all messages, conversations, and communications made from them. A Houthi journalist claimed that what happened in Sana'a and elsewhere is a dangerous plan that requires declaring a state of public emergency in all governorates so that the plan doesn't move to advanced stages.
The United States of America announced the imposition of sanctions on a Chinese company for supporting the Iranian drones. The U.S. Treasury said that the Iranian-made drones remain a key tool for Russia in its attacks in Ukraine, including those that terrorize Ukrainian citizens and attack its critical infrastructure. The sanctions target Iranian company and its CEO for purchasing engines with hundreds of thousands of dollars that could be used in Iranian attack drones. A report issued by the United Nations Population Fund confirmed that women and girls in Yemen are bearing the brunt of the crisis. The report stated that about 80% of the 4.5 million displaced people are women and children, and about a quarter of the displaced families are headed by women. The report added that with limited shelter options and the collapse of formal and informal protection mechanisms as the conflict continues. The World Food Programme reported that the food security situation in Yemen continues to deteriorate throughout the country. The UN program said in its report that the food security situation in Yemen continued to deteriorate during last July for the third month in a row. It pointed out that the rate of insufficient food consumption across the country rose by 3 percentage points in the period from June to July.
So they're giving you nutrition for him?
قالوا لي سلمي له ما عنده ديله تاتو بطاك الاسبوع يبون 15 ودحين تركه مدري هي يهبون له مدري لا يا صعب علينا بعض الحين بنحصلوا له حتى 10 ريال والله معانا قال له حقه من نشتري.
And what's the problem with his hands? What happened?
ياكلها بس نالو لما يسيل دم.
Oh my gosh, it's red raw. Why is he eating his fingers?
ياكلها بنفسه كذا يمسكها وياكلها لما يسيل دم. بعد الحين مرة لقدي يسيل دم من هنا من سنانه حتى ينكع مضلعه. الحين ما أحس الحين معه ولا قال ما هسوي. الحين ما راهن جاع أهم ما بهن.
More children are dying from contaminated drugs. Cancer patients in Yemen barely have any medical resources. Health has destroyed all sectors in Yemen and made it nearly impossible for the people to find proper healthcare services. This report has more details.
Following the Houthi court in Yemen's capital Sana'a issuing a lenient sentence in the crime of the contaminated medicine that claimed the lives of 11 children with leukemia and left 10 others with serious symptoms, medical sources in Sana'a and official documents revealed a new crime committed against a number of children in this same hospital. The information from the sources showed that 9 of the cancer patients experienced the same symptoms as the patients who passed away less than a year ago. The 9 children experienced symptoms such as allergies, fever, and odd body redness. This happened due to the same tainted medicine that killed children last year, which was put into them. According to a statement by the National Center for Oncology in the capital Sana'a, a committee was formed to investigate what happened, but the findings of the committee's investigation were not made public. The investigation committee into the incident was formed in early August of last year, when a number of doctors demanded an investigation into the incident, submitting a report on the work of the Children's Leukemia Unit at Kuwait University Hospital and preparing a technical report on it. A recent decision to punish the main offenders in the incident involving the death of 11 children and the injuring of others after they were given an injection of smuggled drug was made by a court operated by the Houthi coup. The court ordered the accused to pay blood money to the guardians of the 11 deceased children, 20 million Yemeni riyals, which is roughly $40,000, to be given to the guardians of the 10 infected children, and to fine the Supreme Authority for Medicines by paying a fine of 10 million Yemeni riyals to support the leukemia unit. Yemeni medical sources mocked the Houthi group's announcement that the leader Mehdi al-Mashat, head of what is known as the Supreme Political Council, the group's ruling council, opened 2 cancer treatment hospitals at a cost of $6,300,000 on the anniversary of the coup. The sources considered these 2 hospitals to be merely Houthi propaganda for the group's project, which destroyed the health sector and turned it into a source of taxes, royalties, and enrichment. According to sources, the health sector in Yemen lacks the human and technical capabilities to treat cancer after 9 years of damage to it, which resulted in the migration of medical expertise, poor services, and its investment to enrich Houthi leaders. A recent Yemeni study warned that malnutrition leads to exacerbation of cancer-related complications and reduces the effectiveness of the treatment. The study, conducted by 3 oncologists at the National Oncology Center in Sana'a, shows that cancer greatly affects the nutritional status of patients and that malnutrition is a common complication among cancer patients, especially among the elderly. The limited clinical resources, the poor quality of medical records, and the war that has been going on for 9 years has led to the limited possibility of knowing the incidence of cancer in Yemen and led to ambiguity of the burden of the disease at the national level.
2 children drowned in an area of Ib Governorate amid increasing drowning cases in the Governorate. Local sources said that 2 fraternal children died on Thursday, drowning in a dam of the Ib countryside district northwest of the city of Ib. They added that the victims, who were from Hodeidah Governorate, drowned in succession in the dam, where the first drowned while trying to swim and his brother tried to save him. Due to diminishing work possibilities and low pay, many visually impaired bachelor's degree holders turn to side jobs in disciplines unrelated to their university qualifications. These trades include agriculture and animal husbandry, among others. The phone report gives more details.
The protracted and devastating conflict that began in March 2015 continues to ruin the lives of most Yemenis. A shattered economy, high unemployment, and the non-payment of salaries have destroyed incomes and pushed people into debt. Millions of families are left with nothing to live on, experiencing catastrophic food gaps and malnutrition. For the disabled community, this struggle is tenfold.
مدرس في جمعية المكفوفين مدرس متعاقد.
I work as a teacher at the Visually Impaired Association with a monthly salary of 35,000 riyals. I am forced to take up side jobs on weekends or in the afternoon because my primary income isn't sufficient to cover any of my necessities. As I live in the countryside, These gigs vary between agriculture and animal rearing.
Due to dwindling job opportunities and negligible income, many bachelor holders resort to side hustles in fields unrelated to their areas of study.
Members of the blind community often engage in skilled trades to provide for their families, such as perfumery, henna, and embroidery.
In light of the deteriorating living conditions in the country and the neglect of official bodies and international organizations, members of the visually impaired community paved a path for themselves to make ends meet.
Coming next. Fishermen in Al Mahra Governorate continue to struggle amid conflict. Welcome back. At least 5 people were killed and wounded as a result of a hand grenade explosion in the center of the city of Taiz. Local sources reported that the explosion killed 2 people and injured at least 3 others. The sources reported that a person threw the bomb at someone as a result of a dispute between them. Masan Project announced the removal of 866 mines planted by the Houthi militia during the 3rd week of this September. The center said that they removed mines that were distributed among 125 anti-tank mines, 728 unexploded ordnance, and 3 explosive devices. According to the project statistics, the number of mines removed since the beginning of the Masan project has increased to 416,360 mines.
كانت المدرسة حقنا حلوة وجميلة ونظيفة وكل حاجة. لما دخل عساكر داخله وما حصلت شوية يعني بهذلة ويعني عدم اللامبالاة، وبعدين دخلوا فيها الألغام وحصل اللي حصل إنها تطايرت المدرسة وأصبحنا في وضع يعني يرثى بدل ما كنا ننتظر المزيد يعني من المدرسة إنها تترقى إلى الأفضل، أصبحنا في ضيق الفصول وازدحام الطلاب ويعني وتسرب الطلاب إلى مدارس بعيدة مثل الكراب والوحدة المشتركة. هربوا طلاب المكازمة وعكاد الأعلى، وهذا أصبح الطلاب قلقين والأهالي والمدرسين من الألغام الموجودة في المدرسة، وأصبحنا نعاني يعني بشكل فظيع جدا. الكراسي مكسرة ومحطمة، الفصول لا تتسع للطلاب، يعني مدرسة يرثى لها. ولكن الحمد لله رب العالمين قام فريق مسام بممثلة بالأستاذ عارف القحطاني جزاهم الله الخير، الذين قاموا بالمبادرة بتكليف فريق 22 والنزول إلى المدرسة لنزع الألغام وتأمينها بحيث تصبح يعني يبتعد القلق من المدرسين والطلاب والأهالي، لأنهم كلهم في حالة خوف على أبنائهم والمدرسين قلقين وهذا. والآن الفريق يعمل بشكل مع أنه المدرسة يعني في حالة خطر، ونحن لا نستطيع أن نوقف التدريس لأن نحن على وشك الامتحانات، والفريق يعمل بمهمة صعبة جدا لأنه ركام والألغام قد تكون موجودة يعني كلنا نعمل بمعاناة وبمخاطر، ولكن إن شاء الله بفضل الله تعالى يعني تستمر الجهود يعني ايش انهم يتغلبوا على المصاعب ويخرجوا من نتيجة مرضية للجميع.
The Arab Parliamentary Union denounced the persistent terrorist actions of the Houthi militia. In its statement, the union condemned the terrorist attack launched by the Houthi militia on Bahrain Defense Force stationed in Saudi Arabia, which resulted in the killing and injury of a number of its members last Monday. The statement reiterated the union's rejection of all forms of violence, extremism, and terrorism. The fish wealth in Al Mahra Governorate is a reliable source of food and basic income for thousands of Yemenis. Thousands of fishermen work in the fishing profession, but there are challenges they face, which is overfishing. The following report has more details.
Thousands of Yemenis rely on the enormous fish resources of Al Mahra Governorate as a significant source of income. This is because of the extensive coastline, diversified marine habitat, and abundant fish in its clear waters. Goldfish, sardines, and tuna fish, and many more are some of the species that may be found there, making it a popular fishing spot for dowry sons as well as for those coming from other governorates in Yemen.
Since 1995, I've been in Mahra for the purpose of work. I sail with fishermen, but sometimes we cannot find enough fish, which doesn't help us provide a good source of livelihood. However, during fishing season, a large number of fish are available in abundance and we face some difficulties, such as strong waves.
More than 10,000 people are employed along the shore of Al Mahra Governorate, which has a coastline that stretches for more than 500 kilometers, and more than 10,000 workers work on its coast. Nevertheless, the obstacles that fishermen confront make it difficult to continue for them as a source of income. They include the lack of fish packing, the packing of industries, as well as fish landing ports, in addition to the shrinking fish stocks brought on by ships of overfishing, which sweeps both tiny and large fish away.
هذا الشرطوان يجرب أي حاجة في البحر السمك الصغير واللي ما يقبله.
We suffer from overfishing as large fishing vessels sweep away the fish and our boats are small. Even if the fisherman has more than one boat, this doesn't help us catch fish, as the ship owners fish oppressively at night, which causes the fish to escape.
مشاكل تعترض الصيادين وخاصة الصيد الجائر.
There are challenges facing fishermen, especially overfishing, which is carried out by a group of people and affects fish wealth in general and cuts off the livelihood of fishermen in this area.
Since fish are shipped to several governorates, the fishing industry in Al Mahra is crucial to the local economy. Al Mahra produces 700,000 tons of fish yearly, and the Governorate General Authority for Fisheries estimates that the entire value of fish exports for the most recent year was 40 billion riyals.
Here is the reminder of the main headlines. Houthis sacked the government amid increasing protests in the areas under their control. Nine cancer patients' children are in critical condition in Sana'a due to taking contaminated drug. Visually impaired graduates in Lahj province struggle to make a living despite their disability. This is the end of the news. It was Roshan Fouad. Thank you for watching.